Splatoon 2, or as Nintendo likes to say it,
Splatoon 2
is the sequel to Splatoon, which first premiered on the Wii U. Oh, wait a second, what the fuck is a Wii U? Hey, Yohan, what's a Wii U? Now, the majority of titles on the Nintendo Switch have been ports of Wii U games. One of them is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and the other is Mario Kart 8. Now, when Splatoon 2 was first shown off, it did look a lot like a port. So now that the game is out, does it feel like a proper sequel? Kind of, sort of, maybe? Okay, let me start off with some positive changes they made. One of the biggest improvements over the original is the single-player campaign. The story is simple. Stop the Octarians because they stole the Great Zapfish and save Callie of the Squid Sisters. But this isn't why it's better. The improvements mainly come from the level design. The levels are more fleshed out compared to the original game, and this is mainly because you can now use a variety of weapons. The in-game weapon dealer Sheldon will send you prototype weapons to use for his research. This could range from the roller, to the dualies, to the chargers, and even the new Splatbrella. All of the levels are designed around using these weapons. Some levels will have you chasing enemies with the hero brush, while others will make you use the charger to grapple the higher ground. All of these levels teach you how to use the weapons for multiplayer. Now, multiplayer is very similar to the first game, but you have new weapons and maps to work with. One of my favorites is the Splat Dualies, which allows you to quickly dodge enemy fire. It's one of the most satisfying weapons to use in the game. The new specials are, for the most part, modified versions of Splatoon specials. The Tenta missiles is basically the Ink Strike, but it now fires multiple missiles at once. The Hamster Ball might as well be a slower Kraken, and the Ink Armor grants your entire team extra health. None of these new specials are overpowered, and that goes for the main weapons as well. Everything feels more balanced this time around, and you have to work with your teammates to win games. You can take these weapons into various online modes. These are Turf War, Tower Control, Splat Zones, and Rainmaker. Turf War's objective is to cover the ground in your own colored ink. Ink more of the ground than your opponents, and you win. This mode has me coming back constantly to play Splatoon because of all the mechanics the game has. It feels so different compared to most shooters because it's not all just about killing the other team with blood and gore everywhere. However, if you want to be a competitive asshole, get over to the salt mines. Oh, I mean ranked mode, yeah. 3 modes make up ranked. Splat Zones, which is basically like Turf War, but instead you have to keep control of a certain area. Usually it's the middle of the map. Tower Control, which makes you move a tower from the middle of the map all the way to your opponent's side of the field, which can lead to some pretty intense matches. The last mode is Rainmaker, where you must carry the Rainmaker to the goal. Yeah, those 2 modes are very similar. While covering territory is not the complete focus of these modes, it is still very important to cover territory so you can swim around in your own ink. If competitive modes aren't your thing, don't worry. Splatoon 2 has added a new cooperative mode called Salmon Run. This mode puts you and 3 other players together to take on 3 waves of enemies called Salmonid. Eventually, the boss Salmonid will appear, and each one can get taken out in a different way. Defeating these enemies will get you golden salmon eggs. Collecting enough of these eggs will let you progress to the next wave. This addition is great because it adds a lot more variety to the online multiplayer, which the first game lacked. However, there's still one glaring issue. You are not allowed to play Salmon Run unless Nintendo says you can. What's that? You feel like playing Salmon Run? Well, fuck you and fuck your fun, because Nintendo knows how you want to have fun, and it's not what you want to have fun, because Nintendo's just stupid. Fuck you and fuck. What the fuck was that? This is one of the unique features of Splatoon. Game modes and maps switch out after a certain amount of time passes in real life. Salmon Run is set on a schedule. For example, on Monday it might be available from 2 AM to 2 PM, and Tuesday it might be available from 5 PM to 5 AM the next day. Sometimes, Salmon Run may not even be available the next day, and you have to wait. There is no good reason for this feature to be implemented in the game. This problem also extends to the competitive modes as well. You can only play on 2 maps for each of the modes, and they are randomly selected each time. These maps switch out every 2 hours, but there is a big chance that you will play on the same map multiple times. Sadly, that's not the only issue with online. Nintendo also doesn't like you to play with your friends. Now, let me be clear here. You can play with your friends if they're in a turf war match, but you're not guaranteed to be on the same team. I just want to team with my friends in Turf War, Nintendo, and have fun, but you won't let me do that. And the worst part of all is, I can't have any of my friends join me in ranked mode. I understand the reason why, but in that mode you can at least have us split 50% of the time. If we do want to play ranked mode matches, we have to do league battles. The only way to do that is to be at a B- rank or higher. Since most of my friends who have Splatoon 2 do not want to be competitive with this game, they don't bother to raise their rank. So now my friends and I can't play all the modes together because of this. Voice chat is also a hassle to do in this game. I have to connect my headset to the Switch, but also connect it to my phone through Nintendo's online app. This setup can work in handheld mode, but when the Switch is also a home console, it doesn't work. Alright, look. Splatoon 2 is a good game, but that's all it ever will be. Good. There was just not enough improvements over the original to say that this is a proper sequel. However, the game is getting free updates, which will add new weapons and stages, and that's pretty cool. Nintendo is also holding monthly events called Splatfests. This is a great way to extend the game's life. If you've never played Splatoon before, I would definitely pick this game up, as well as the Switch. If you played the first game, I'm not 100% sure I can say it's worth it, since the game feels more like an expansion of the original. If you do decide to pick it up, be warned that the game may feel too similar to the first one. I'm Nate from Yo-Yo and Nate, and thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe.